Welcome to the first class of the school year. My name is Mr. K, and I'm going to be your social studies teacher, your 8th grade social studies teacher for the year. This is my first year at Olmsted. Super pumped to be here, and I'm excited to meet you guys and have you guys all in my class. If you look at your screen here, I have today's agenda listed. So I just did my brief introduction. Next, I'm going to cover Circa and the warm-up. Then you guys are going to learn a little bit about me. I'm going to review my classroom rules and procedures, and I will introduce Wednesday's assignment. So, like I said, in a second, we're going to get into a presentation so you guys can learn a little bit about me, but I wanted to start off the year with an activity, and this is something that we're going to be doing at the beginning of just about every class, and I want you guys to get used to it. So, I'm going to explain what Circa is. First, we're going to take a look at this page here. So, one of the goals for this school year, not just for social studies, but for all of your classes, is to get you guys to become better writers. We want you to be able to write and defend your opinions. So one of the ways that we're doing this is by using this program called Think Circa. And you'll hear us use this word Circa, and I want you guys to understand what Circa is. It's C-E-R-C-A, the letters like this, okay? And each letter stands for a word. Claim, evidence, reasoning, counterargument, and audience, okay? And this is basically a format that we're going to be using to teach you guys to become better writers. So today, for our warm-up, I want to get right into this. And you don't have to worry about remembering all of the letters quite yet. We're just going to focus on the first two today, which is claim and evidence. So claim is what are you trying to prove in your argument, and evidence, what do you have from the text to support your claim? Or it doesn't have to be text, it can be a video, it can be a picture, anything that we're looking at. So if you navigate to Google Classroom, I have a link posted to a Padlet, and it'll take you to this page here. You see in the top corner it says, write a claim about Mr. K from the picture below. And I have the picture posted. If you click on it, it'll enlarge and you can take a look at some of the details here. So first of all, what is a claim? Okay, a claim basically allows you to express your point of view on a topic, and with the evidence, you're going to basically encourage others to accept your view as well. So I want you to write a claim about me just using the knowledge you can get from this picture. This is a picture of a desk in my office, and I want you to look closely at everything you see in this picture, and I just want you to write one claim about something that you think you might know about me, okay? And I want you to back up that claim with evidence from the picture. So I did an example, and I did a harder example because I don't know if a whole lot of you guys would have picked up on this, but it says, Mr. K has a whiteboard in his office. That's my claim. My evidence is, I see a whiteboard marker in the top drawer in the picture. So if I expand this again, you can see that marker I'm talking about. Now, there's a lot more obvious claims that you can write about in this, so I picked a harder one, so I didn't take any easy ones away from you guys. So if you need a second, go ahead and pause the video, study the picture, and I want you to write a claim about something you see in the video. And the way that I want you to post on Padlet, if you've never used Padlet before, you're going to go down here to this bottom corner, you're going to press this plus sign, and you can type, you're just going to type claim, and type whatever your claim is, okay? And then underneath where it says write something, you're going to type evidence, and then you're going to type in whatever evidence that you found in the picture.
Okay, so I wanted to start off the year by doing a brief presentation about myself so you guys can get to know me a little better. So just some things about me. First off, I'm a scuba diver. I've been diving for a long time. I've dove all over the Caribbean, and this is my underwater selfie. I also sing and play guitar. I've got a YouTube channel if you guys want to check me out. This is a picture of me performing in a talent show in college. Okay, so how I became a teacher. In college, I wasn't really sure what to major in, but I was involved in college club was a swing dancing club. Basically, I started dancing, and then I got really good at it, and then they asked me to teach for them. So I started teaching people to dance, and I liked it a lot, and I was like, maybe this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So these are pictures. This picture on the right is my college dance partner, Jen, and then the picture on the left is my current dance partner, Maddie, and I teach right here in Louisville. So I used to work at GameStop. I worked at GameStop as a store manager for about 4 years. So I've got an Xbox and a PS4, and I do most of my gaming on PC nowadays. So big time gamer. If you have any questions or you want to talk games with me, I love talking about games. This is my family. This is my wife, Brett, and my dog, Rufio. He's really cute. Look how cute he is. And then finally, I make cool things. These pictures you see here are all 3D printed and painted. So I made these in my house. I've got a 3D printer in my basement, and I sell some of these things on my website online. So we got Baby Groot. This is a life-size replica of Thor's hammer that I made for a friend of mine. That was probably one of the biggest things I've made. And then this is a giant. It's a frost giant from Dungeons and Dragons. This is a game that I'm playing through right now. So I printed this out for my D&D party. That's it. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to talk to you about anything about me.
Okay, now I'd like to go over some of my rules and procedures, and this is focused on during NTI. But some of these rules will also carry over into the classroom. So, rule number one, my number one rule is don't be a jerk, be awesome instead. So I can write a whole list of things you should not do while you're online in my classroom. Don't talk while I'm talking, keep your mic muted, all this stuff. But most problems come down to this number one rule. Don't be a jerk, be awesome instead. So before you do anything in my classroom, think to yourself, am I being a jerk? Okay, if the answer is yes, don't do it. Be awesome instead. So here's some examples. I have a question about the assignment, but Mr. K is talking. Am I being a jerk if I interrupt to ask my question? Yes. Don't do it. One of my siblings is getting on my nerves. Am I being a jerk to the rest of the class if my mic is unmuted and I start shouting at him? Yes. Don't do it. Just a couple things here, my procedures. Just make sure we're staying respectful, responsible, and safe. I've got things under each column here. So you're respectful if your mic is muted, unless I say otherwise. You're respectful if you come dressed appropriately. If you're using the chat appropriately, make sure you raise your hand to speak. And you're being respectful if you participate, focus, and follow directions. Responsible. You're being responsible if you're on time. If you can, you're being responsible if you're in a quiet place, if possible. And you're being responsible if you come to class prepared, you have your work done, and you're ready to work with me. And finally, safe. Make sure you're using appropriate language. Make sure that your profile picture is appropriate. Make sure that anything that would be shared with other students is appropriate, and make sure you're practicing digital citizenship. And what I mean by that is make sure you're not sharing your password with anyone. Make sure you're not sharing personal information online. These are all things that are going to keep you safe. Okay, so a couple procedures at the beginning and the end of class. So at the beginning of class, I want you to log in, go to your Google Classroom, and you're going to log on to the Google Meet through Google Classroom. The link will be on there. Check Google Classroom for your directions for the day. I will almost always have some kind of assignment or directions posted for that day. Most days I will start with some kind of warm-up question. So begin working on the warm-up when you come into class, when you come into the Google Meet in the morning. And then finally, when class is over, I will dismiss you with my dismissal phrase, which is, don't forget to be awesome. So when you hear me say, don't forget to be awesome, that is your cue to log out, and you can go work on whatever you need to work on or report to your next class. As far as turning in assignments, I need you to turn all your assignments in on Google Classroom. They're going to be assigned to you on there. And if if your assignment's not turned in on time, it's just going to go into the gradebook as a 0 until I get it. So the other thing I need you to make sure you do is make sure you hit the turn in button on Google Classroom when you're finished with your assignments. This is what lets me know that your work is ready to grade. You can do the entire assignment, but if you don't hit the turn in button, I don't know that you finished it. Okay, so make sure when you're finished with your assignments that you hit that turn in button so I know that it's ready to grade. As far as distractions go during class time, please stay focused. I'm going to use class time to explain your assignments and to give you information that you need. If you're distracted on your phone or if you're on another website, you're going to miss information and you're going to be lost. A lot of times, your assignments that you do for homework, we're going to review those in class. And I'm going to give you a chance to correct your answers in class. And a lot of times I'm giving you the correct answers, or we're discussing what the correct answer should be. So if you're distracted, if you're on a different website and you miss all that stuff, you're not going to have the right answers on your assignments, and then it is going to affect your grade. That's just how it's going to work. So please try to stay focused. Absences, if you're absent, that's okay. Check your Google Classroom for the video review of the lesson that you missed. So basically, every time you have a lesson, I'm going to release a video going over briefly what we did that day, and it will tell you any work that you need to do. If it was like a notes day, it'll have the notes video on there. So if you're absent, just check into your Google Classroom and figure out what you missed, and you're responsible for doing that work on your own time. Okay. Each lesson that I do in class is going to include a video covering most of what we did. And I'm going to post those videos on the Olmsted Academy North 8th grade social studies YouTube channel, which I have linked on this document, and you can find this document posted on your Google Classroom. Okay, I wanted to briefly introduce your assignment. This is going to be the assignment I want you to complete for Wednesday when we are not meeting. Wednesdays are basically asynchronous day, which means you're not going to have any classes. It's a day to do independent work. So this is the work I've assigned to you. It's twofold. Part of this assignment lets me learn a little more about you. The other part of the assignment gets you to start thinking like a historian, which is something that we're going to be doing a lot this year. So I'm just going to go through the instructions and the questions real quick. It's pretty self-explanatory. But basically, instructions: answer the questions below using complete sentences. I want you to pay attention to this right here, using complete sentences. This is something I want you to get used to. Like I said earlier, we're trying to make you better writers. And so one way to do that is to just get used to the idea that you have to write in complete sentences, completely express yourself. Okay, I don't want 1 or 2 word answers. Express your entire opinion in a sentence or 2. So first couple questions are about history. Why do you think it's important to study history? What's something historical you'd like to learn about? I want to know about your family's background. What part of the world did your family come from? Have they lived in Kentucky? Have you lived in Kentucky your whole life? Was your family from somewhere else? Did they live here their whole life? Give me some background on your family. Number 4 gets into a little bit more about you. How do you like to learn? I personally like to learn. I like being alone. I don't like a whole lot of distractions going on, and I like listening to music. So give me something like that. Number 5, I want to know a little bit about your NTI experience in the spring, and just suggestions that you might have to make that experience better. What are things that I can do to make this digital learning experience better for you? Also, any questions or concerns that you have for me, number 6. Okay. And number 7 and number 8 get into those thinking like a historian skills like I was talking about earlier. So number 7, I want you to use your imagination. If your room is perfectly preserved for a historian in the future, so basically hundreds of years in the future, a historian comes into your house, it's perfectly preserved, and they're able to look into your room, what 3 items in your room would they be able to look at and learn the most about you? What 3 items in your room would tell them the most about you? Number 8 is a similar question. Same deal. If a historian were to study your social media accounts, what are 3 things that they would learn about you just looking at your social media accounts? So that's it. That's your assignment for Wednesday. It shouldn't take you super long. Have this for your lesson on either Thursday or Friday when I see you, and looking forward to seeing you then. Thanks, guys.